couldn't dream of making my goals a reality more than this right now.
At what point does an athlete become a CEO, and a CEO an influencer, and the influencer a cult leader? This is the story of how Nick Bear and his team of creators and athletes inspire people to run, lift, and buy millions worth of supplement products.
It's my thought. And how many people?
This video won't focus on Nick Bear and his journey because there are dozens of videos like that on both his YouTube channel and others on YouTube. In fact, we will focus a lot more on content and influencer related content and how that has made BPN a $100 million company. When I say only, that doesn't mean that that is only the thing that BPN does. Of course they advertise, of course they have mega sales, of course they launch events, but I'd be willing to wager that if BPN only focused on their athlete and creator program and what they do with influencer marketing, they would be doing just as well. What's really special about BPN is, in a way, the founder and the brand have more following than most of the creators they sign. And their game plan is usually to sign creators early in their journey and then profit off of their growth as they continue to rise through the ranks, gain more following, gain more advantage. Let's stop there for a second. And then profit off of their growth as they continue to rise through the ranks, gain more following. When I say profit off of growth, I actually mean it as a pretty good thing. Most companies have a quote unquote cloud sharing model where they sign an athlete and they exchange this so-called audience flow from one side to the other, and hopefully the influencer gains a little bit of audience, the brand gains a little bit of sales, and it's more or less happy times for everyone. But that is not the case with BPN. The most important part of BPN's system with creators seems to be the cosign and the recognition they get from being signed with BPN. It's almost like an instant pillow of recognition, that link in bio, that creator code. Let's go back to the start of this chapter. Fuck likes and followers. Focus on cool people doing cool shit. What I mean by this is, if you spend long enough on the Instagram rabbit hole of checking out BPN athletes new and old, you'll be able to recognize that they've signed some of these athletes from like 3,000 followers, 5,000 followers, and so forth, which is comparatively low to industry staples. So other companies that are of their size that have that amount of sales usually are signing creators with 50,000 followers, 100,000 followers, and so forth. No, BPN is catching these great creators at the very beginning and climax of their journey and the very start.
Today is going to be what I call a quad day. 4 training sessions, bike, we have run, lift, and then swim. These days are very much so taxing.
But not only is it a strong marketing tactic, it is an incredible recruitment strategy. Now creators such as myself can create content and go to town in terms of gaining audiences and followers without having to worry that, hey, where's my silver YouTube button or my gold YouTube button or 100,000 followers on Instagram? No, we can find companies such as BPN and BPN specifically much earlier in our journey to allow us to monetize our craft, our content, and so on and so forth. Of course, the focus here is not on me, but other people doing really great things with their content, with their channels, and doing so and being able to land a sponsor and a partner like BPN early in their journey. But there's one big question that remains. How can BPN afford to sign creators of all sizes? If I had to imagine, the creator onboarding meetings that Nick leads probably look a little bit like this. You have to focus on quality over quantity. We're putting together a movie every single week. It's got to be cinematic. It's got to be big. Also, if you haven't signed up for your next marathon, plan your next 3. And also, you better be in the gym lifting and hitting your PRs. We have to look crazy, supernatural, and all of it has to be documented. Jokes aside, the BPN athletes are intensely, and I want to go back for a second. The reason I call them athletes, it's almost like coming to mind by itself, because they're performing these feats, being full-time YouTubers, full-time content creators, and at the same time they're killing Ironmans, triathlons, marathons, lifting PRs. So I guess creators and athletes is something synonymous to me, but what I was going to say is I truly believe that for these creators, there is just as much focus on the quantity as there is on the narrative and the visual storytelling of each video, and the other way around also. So they understand that, hey, I have to be active, and that's what's important with the algorithm and with my audience, but I have to be just as much about storytelling visually and narrative wise. I think a lot of it stems from Nick Baer, the CEO. And again, he is a CEO. He's now a two-time dad. He is a super well-accomplished hybrid athlete in running, lifting. Now he's going into high rocks, and every single week, almost every single week, he's putting out a video that looks like it's being shot on the back end by Christopher Nolan. Like he's got crazy talent behind the scenes supporting him, but at the same time, you can tell how much he's driving and giving energy to his creative and production teams. And of course, his creator and his athlete team picks up on that. But let's take a look at the content that the athletes and the creators create by themselves without the BPN production team, and you can judge for yourself.
Don't go well, and you don't hit your goal, and you don't feel good. The biggest lesson I learned in my last race after missing my goal was to not put so much stock in a time. Your value and worth is not wrapped up in a time on the clock. It doesn't tell the full story.
In your own box, bro. Through hundreds, 200s, and 300s of just normal swimming.
I'm already off pace, and I feel terrible, and trying to find another route for nutrition.
Of course, if you are enjoying this video so far, do hit the like button. Please do drop a comment. Maybe the BPN team will see this. And of course, we're nearing 1,000 subscribers, so I'd appreciate if you hit the subscribe button as well. Let's go to the next chapter. But it seems like the BPN team is on the juice. I'm kidding, of course. But the fact is, these girls and guys are really, truly incredible, both athletically and in terms of content creation. The ability to perform the feats that they are, and more importantly, being able to capture what comes during the moment of the most important athletic achievements of their life. But even more importantly, on top of that, the layer of capturing everything before and after, allowing us to see true emotions and the true process it takes to be better, to evolve. There are professional sports leagues, there are professional sports teams with 1,000,000x the budget that these creators have that are not capturing even 10% of what some of these creators are putting out. And of course, the common excuse is, well, the players are focused on the game. The players are focused on the performance. But there's not much difference between those in the pro leagues and the BPN athletes. They're training just as much, if not more. On a personal note, I think if we are to learn from Nick Baer, from BPN, and what it takes to get there in terms of finding sponsors, finding and building teams for your brand, it starts with what goes on behind the scenes. I think it's very easy in hindsight for Nick to sign the athletes that he signs because he sees how hard these people are trying to capture their moments of struggle, of their effort, of the athletics. And not only athletics, it's also sometimes about the business. It's also sometimes about the what, how and when and why you're capturing certain content and the storytelling. You look at creators like Hopkins, Floberg Runs. I mean, you even have guys that are, or should I say guy that is a pilot. Again, incredible ability to spotlight this talent, but it all comes because they all live by the same message, going from workout to workout, from run to run, day to day. And the message is, go one more.
Be present, enjoy the process, because you're going to learn from that process. Be hyper-focused.
I think the really big opportunity for creators that want to work with BPN in the near future will be BPN's expansion to international markets. They are very US dominant now. Of course, they do have some sales in Europe, but I do believe that in terms of who they sign, the athletes and the creators they bring on, Europe will be the next big move. So just wanted to spotlight that for any creators or entrepreneurs watching my videos. For those that are looking to build their brands like BPN, I think you have to take a step back and analyze and really try to capitalize as much as Nick Bear did with his ability to stand out and perform in his own content. And I think BPN would not even be anywhere close to where it is right now, again, without Nick first grinding the stone and getting that follower count up, getting that recognition in the industry up. I mean, he became the thought leader in the space that had so many different KOLs, so many different opinion leaders. And now he's like the cornerstone of the supplement industry. And he is becoming the cornerstone of hybrid athletics just as much as that. So big shout out to all the entrepreneurs, all the brand creators, but also the athletes and creators, the athlete creator mix, I should say. I think those are two things to watch out for. I think BPN is a great brand to be with. Shout out to everyone's content that we put into this video. Again, they are killing it, and hopefully we continue to see the growth of BPN. And thank you for watching the video. Hope you liked it. Click the subscribe button, click the like button, and I'll see you next time. Thank you. Let's fucking go.